On a moonlit night, a tiny, pulley egg lay silently on a bright green leaf, bathed in the soft glow of the silvery moon. The world was asleep, yet the egg held a secret about to unfold. When the sun peeked over the horizon, painting the sky with hues of orange and pink, the egg began to tremble and crackle. With a loving stretch, out came a little caterpillar. He blinked under the sunlight for the first time. He looked around with awe, but soon a strange rumbling came from his tummy. "Gosh, I'm starving," he exclaimed with wide eyes. Eager to satisfy his big hunger, the little caterpillar began munching on the very leaf he hatched upon. Yummy and delicious, it crunched delightfully. But his adventure didn't stop there. He spotted a bright red apple hanging from a nearby tree. That looks scrumptious, he thought, and quickly crawled over. In no time, he had munched through the juicy apple, feeling a little fuller but still a bit hungry. Next, he went on to nibble on 2 juicy pears, scoff through 3 plums, gobble up 4 ripe strawberries, and munch 5 bright oranges. By this time, this adventurous eater had grown a little chubbier and was indeed feeling quite full. Days went by as he continued to munch through candies, cakes, and ice creams, growing bigger and bigger. But soon, he felt so full and tired that he found a cozy leaf and built a snug cocoon all around himself. The caterpillar's sleep lasted many days and nights. Snuggled away, a magical change was happening. Then, one fine morning, the cocoon began to stir, and out came not a hungry caterpillar, but a magnificent butterfly with wings of brilliant colors that gleamed in the sunlight. He fluttered them joyfully, ready for new adventures. The little caterpillar's journey had taken him from a tiny egg to a splendid butterfly, and with a flap of his vibrant wings, he soared into the skies, ready to explore the world with the same wonder and excitement. And so, the tiny egg had started a journey that dreamed of skies and flowers, urging all who heard the tale to never stop their own adventure. Once upon a time, in a cozy little town, lived a delightful caterpillar named Crispen. Crispen was no ordinary caterpillar. He loved going on great adventures of taste and delight. On sunlit Monday morning, Crispen ventured out of his leafy home to find breakfast. "Oh, what a beautiful apple!" he exclaimed, spotting a shiny red apple hanging low on a branch. He nibbled all the way through, delighting in its sweet crispness. Tuesday came with gentle breezes, and Crispen felt the call of adventure once more. 2 pears, what a pair of unexpected treasures, he thought, munching through the juicy fruit with a satisfying squish. Wednesday arrived with a warm, sunny glow, and Crispen crept towards the garden. There, he discovered 3 plump plums lying beneath a tree. "Plums for my tummy. Oh, what a yummy," he sang as he devoured them all. Thursday followed with a light drizzle, but that didn't stop Crispen from finding 4 strawberries laying in the grass, their red colors shining through the drizzle. "Strawberries sweet, what a clever treat," he declared, savoring their taste. By the time Friday rolled around, Crispen was on a roll, popping through 5 juicy oranges, a slice of chocolate cake, and a generous scoop of ice cream. "Oh my, so much yummy in my tummy," his little voice echoed as the flavors melded into a delicious symphony in his mouth. However, by Saturday, Crispen's tummy was having none of it. Oh dear, my tummy feels so funny. Oh dear," he sighed, rolling around in the grass trying to soothe his belly. But Crispen was wise beyond his years. He knew he had to balance his eating habits for Mondays to come filled with more delights and flavors. So, he curled inside a leafy bed and promised himself to nibble only as much as he needed each day. And there he stayed, dreaming of fruits and delicious feasts, for every caterpillar knows that a feast is only as marvelous as the moments you cherish with it. And so, Crispen learned the art of moderation, the key to enjoying the sweetest of life's offerings. Once upon a time, In a lush green garden brimming with colorful flowers, there lived a little caterpillar named Carl. Carl was not your ordinary caterpillar. What made Carl special wasn't just his shiny green stripes, but his enormous appetite. Every day, Carl would munch diligently on fresh, dewy leaves until one day, he stumbled upon a picnic basket perched at the edge of the garden. Curiosity getting the better of him, Carl wriggled closer to sniff the basket's enticing aromas. "Oh, what do we have here?" Carl said with a twinkle in his eye. Inside, he saw cookies, candy, little cupcakes, and all sorts of human treats he'd only ever dreamed of. Mesmerized and driven by curiosity, Carl decided to try just a tiny bit of each. The sun set over the garden, painting the sky with hues of orange and pink. But Carl was not done yet. Each taste opened the door to the next, and very soon, the once tiny tastes became tremendous bites until the basket was empty, save for a few crumbs. By the next morning, Carl felt a little peculiar. He crawled slowly, feeling sluggish. And by Saturday, oh, what a Saturday it was, Carl had the most terrible stomachache. He curled himself onto a big, soft leaf and let out a miserable groan. "I should have stuck to leaves," Carl lamented as he nursed his aching belly. He remembered how good the leaves were for him, full of the nutrients he needed to grow big and strong. Junk food, though tasty, was not meant for little caterpillars. Taking the lesson to heart, Carl vowed to never stray from his leafy meals again. In time, he'd transform into a beautiful butterfly, full of colors and life, much like the garden he adored. And so, with each new day, Carl munched happily on leaves, knowing he made the right choice. The garden flourished, and so did Carl, sticking to what nature intended. And every once in a while, he'd see a picnic or hear about a crunchy cookie, but he'd just smile and wriggle past, living happily ever after. Once upon a time, in a bright and lively garden, there lived a little caterpillar named Casper. Casper was a curious caterpillar with big dreams. Every day, he wandered through the leaves, munching on the greenest ones he could find, while dreaming of flying high in the sky. One sunny morning, Casper felt a strange tingling all over his tiny body. "This feels different," he thought, as he wiggled his way up a sturdy branch. With excitement and a hint of nervousness, Casper knew it was time for a big change. The next day, he began to spin a cozy cocoon around himself using silky threads he made all by himself. Casper was determined. He spun and spun, creating a perfect little house to protect him. Once it was finished, he snuggled inside, feeling safe and warm. Inside the cocoon, everything was quiet and still. For 2 whole weeks, Casper rested. He dreamed of what the other side might be like, imagining bright flowers, whispering winds, and endless skies. As the days passed, Casper grew stronger, his body transforming slowly but surely. Then, one marvelous morning, Casper felt ready. He pushed against the cocoon, and it gently gave way. With newfound strength, he emerged into the sunlight. The world looked different, more colorful and vibrant than ever before. Casper stretched his new wings, feeling them flutter with excitement. "I did it!" he exclaimed, full of joy. He was no longer a little caterpillar, he was a beautiful butterfly. Grateful for his journey, Casper soared into the sky, his wings shimmering in the sunlight. He visited every part of the garden he once crawled through, seeing it all from up high. And so, Casper the butterfly learned that with patience and courage, wonderful things could happen. From that day on, he flew with newfound freedom, spreading joy and color wherever he went, always reminding his garden friends of the magic of transformation. Once upon a time, in a lush green garden, there lived a modest little caterpillar named Chester. Chester loved munching on leaves and watching the world around him with his tiny eyes. He would wiggle and crawl over branches, singing soft songs to himself, dreaming of the day he would become something more. One sunny morning, Chester noticed that he was getting a little tired and wanted to rest. He found a cozy branch, wrapped himself tightly, and took a long nap. Little did Chester know, this nap would be special. As the days passed, Chester stayed snug inside his cocoon. The bright sun and gentle rains watched over him, whispering sweet secrets of change and transformation. Chester felt a new kind of energy, something tingling that sparked a feeling of excitement. Finally, the day arrived. Chester wriggled and wriggled until he broke free from his little cocoon. "What's this?" he wondered as he stretched and poked out into the world. He gasped as he looked behind him. Where once were little legs and a round body, there were now vibrant wings fluttering in the breeze. "I'm a butterfly," Chester exclaimed with joy as he soared into the blue, sunny sky. He explored every blooming flower, meeting other butterflies who fluttered with him in delightful dances. Chester felt as though every dream he had ever dreamed had come true. The world was bigger and brighter than he had ever imagined. And now, he could greet the sunshine, dance with the wind, and fly among the flowers with his beautiful wings. Every day was a stunning surprise for the butterfly who once was just a caterpillar. And Chester learned that sometimes, the greatest journeys begin with little naps and big dreams.